Here with Concordia head softball coach Todd LaVelle to preview the upcoming softball season. And even though it's snowing as we record it, the season is only a couple weeks away from the first game. But to start out, let's take a quick look back at last season. Pretty successful season, one of the winningest seasons in the history of the program. What did you take from 2017 that you hope your team can build upon?
Yeah, it was a good season. I believe we had 34 wins, and that's always nice and one of the team's goals. But you know what? We finished second in the conference, tied for second, so that was a goal. So I think the returners that are back and got to play at that level last year and made them a little bit more hungry. Maybe in the off season, made them a little bit more hungry as we step into this year and ready to play. So definitely a springboard, if you will, into 2017 and 18. So the excitement is certainly building.
Well, as we talk, there's not a whole lot of seniors on this team. Quite a few newcomers that you'll be counting on. How do you kind of make up for that void with not having as much senior leadership?
Well, yeah, definitely we lost due to graduation. We lost our number one and number two pitchers. We lost Autumn Owens, who got injured and elected not to come back. So definitely we have about 4 or 5 starters that are out from last year. But you know, each year is different, Jake, and I guess I look at this year as a clean slate. This team is going to make up their own identity, and definitely we were anchored by the middle infield that have been 2-year starters with Leah and Jamie, so that's always good to have them. But with that being said, we're gonna have some youth on the team, and but a lot of talented youth. So looking forward to seeing what the makeup of this new team can do.
Well, I know when we talked in the spring, you mentioned how impressed you were with Leah in the way that she stepped up as a leader. What are your expectations for her, both as a softball player and a teammate and a leader?
Well, she's a natural leader, there's no doubt, and that's why she was voted captain for us. But on the same token, we don't want to put too much pressure on her. I think in the last couple of weeks in practice, I think Leah has absorbed a lot of that pressure, and you know what? She's only one piece of the puzzle. So even though she's going to do great things, we want to spread it out. There are probably 16 to 18 girls that will travel with us regularly, and all of them can play. And so, as much as I know she'll be a leader and can do the things on and off the field, she'll have teammates to help her out.
Well, you mentioned your 2 main pitchers last year have departed with Kylie Harpston and Michaela Woodward. I know you're counting on Brittany Woolridge, a transfer. What excites you about what she brings to the table?
Well, the whole pitching staff is probably deeper than it's ever been since my 5 years here at Concordia, which is nice. Obviously, Brittany, a transfer from Texas Commerce, has come in and had a great fall. She's had a little injury here in the last couple of weeks that may sideline her until the time we get down to Arizona. But if that happens, it's going to open the door for 3 other pitchers. Sophomore Bailey Clare, left-handed thrower, has done an outstanding job and had a good fall. And we got Delaney Nance back from Arizona that threw well last year for the fall and had some shoulder issues. And then we have Grace Burnett, a freshman that has impressed a lot of her teammates when we've had an opportunity to throw live. So it could be a lot of pitching by committee here, which is nice. And when you have a stable of four pitchers that you can go to, that makes a coach pretty excited.
In the fall, you talked about trying to keep the team fresh so that they're feeling good in April and May when the games really matter the most. How does that approach kind of carry over to January and now February?
Well, we're still trying to do that a little bit. Obviously, you want to be peaking at the end of April, beginning of May, and it's a long season. I mean, when you play 50-plus games and you're practicing and you're mostly indoors right now, it becomes a grind. And so we're doing the best we can. Maybe the practice times have been a little bit more limited, probably more intense instead of the duration. So that's been a key component. But even though we keep saying it, I got to remind myself every day we're going to try to keep things fun. Sometimes I forget about that and get pretty intense, but we're going to still try to keep the fun component and add a little spice every once in a while.
Well, we already talked about Leah. How about some other returners that have impressed you and caught your eye since you got back from winter break?
Well, obviously, there are a lot of returners. We do technically only have one senior on the team, Janie Passold, who played a lot for us in the outfield, is doing a good job. We do have two other seniors that elected to graduate as juniors, have enough credits. That's Brittany Arndt and Caitlin Burish, and they've been doing a good job. But it's no secret we're going to be leaning on the youth of this team. I think we have 4 or 5 freshmen that have the ability to start for us. Hannah Herrero from California has been doing a great job and probably some of the quickest hands that I've ever coached and going to be a great hitter. Tori Homoka from Wilbur, Nebraska is doing a great job for us. Alicia Thayer is right now got the nod at the catcher's spot, doing well. So we got Mackenzie Schmidt just right down the road where Jamie's from, Creek, Nebraska. That is looking good in the outfield and impressed me in the batting cages here lately. So there's going to be a lot of youth. We got a couple transfers that I think will help us. So the excitement is maybe not so much on the returners, but what the makeup of this year's team.
Well, you've with Jamie and Mackenzie Schmidt, now you have a couple from Creeds, and you'll have another one coming next year with Camry Moore. Obviously a strong connection with that high school. What do you like about the young women that have come out of there?
Well, it probably stems from their high school coach. I think Coach Carr does an excellent job. I think we kind of coach with the same philosophy, the same kind of mold. So it's interesting. I think the transition is so easy when they get here that they can pick up and go right away. But obviously they have a lot of talent. Creed's always been doing well in Class B, and obviously they won it last year. So, it's been a great connection, and one I hope we can keep going because they have a couple underclassmen that would really fit in nice as a Bulldog.
Well, another newcomer is Kenneth, of course, transferred from Sioux Falls. What have you noticed about how she's made the adjustment and how she's coming along over these first few weeks of the semester?
Kenneth's doing well. Obviously, I have close ties with her and had the opportunity to coach her a little bit when she was playing travel ball and just a neat kid. So obviously when you leave a program and come here, it's going to take a little time. Their coaches did things different, I'm sure, and she's finding the adjustment of a whole new school and had to leave some good friends behind. But I think once Kenneth settles in and finds that Concordia is her home, there's no doubt that the sky's the limit for that young lady.
When you kind of evaluate where your team's at, what do you see as maybe some strengths in terms of hitting, pitching, fielding, and where you need to improve maybe a little bit?
Yeah, obviously hitting. I changed my philosophy a little bit this year. We used to do about 55 to maybe 60% of the practice time involved hitting. I would say I bumped that up to 70 and probably even 75%. Even though defense is important and pitching is important, you're going to find out that we're going to be pretty strong, not only 1 through 9 in our hitting order, but I think I have 4 or 5 girls that I can go to the bench at any time when somebody's not up on their game. So that's exciting. I would say pitching has done well. Coach Tejas has been working really hard in the off season and now this season working the pitchers. So we always got to lean on them. And then defense, we just hope they make plays. And if they have errors, we're going to move on. But we're definitely going to be pretty strong in the hitting category.
Well, your Tied for second in the conference last year, picked second in the preseason poll as well. Had a strong finish last year, winning 14 in your last 18 conference games. What happened maybe during that run in particular that you'd like to bottle up and carry over?
Oh yeah, we want to finish strong. I think you alluded to that earlier on how we're starting out a little bit, trying to stay as fresh as we can. But obviously we're going to look at a lot of things. Even though we had a fall for some preseason and got to look at a lot of girls, I think our 2 trips down to Kansas here in 2 weeks and 3 weeks are going to tell us a lot. We're probably going to play 15, 16 girls, and we're going to get ready. That's going to springboard us into Tucson, Arizona, where we play 11 games, and after that, we're going to be ready for conference. We're probably going to take a few losses early, but we are putting a lot of emphasis on our conference. It's a tough conference. Anybody can win. I was definitely pleased, but yet surprised at the number 2 ranking preseason because we lost 2 pitchers, and so that's nice. I told the girls that's a good feather in your hat, as a lot of coaches are respecting you. But with that being said, we also know that we're going to have to bring it every day, and that doesn't matter if it's preseason number 1 Morningside or if that's Briar Cliff. We got to bring it every single day, and that's what we're working for, and maybe that's kind of what we said. I think a game here or there, every coach can say that. In conference last year, we could have won it, but so it's tough. It's tough to play 20 conference games and have your A game every day, but we're certainly, that's our goal.